Hello everyone, CryptoEat here. So I'm continuing the last video, which was part 1 for setting up the MTF screener. And now I'm going to dive into how I look at the screener and how I use the screener to simply scan the market and then narrow down my search. So let's just select one pane alone first to be able to focus on it. So the first thing you can see in it, you have on the left side your symbols, and then you have the MTF status, and it shows you 4 different conditions or simply a non-condition. So there are 5 conditions here. Those 5 conditions are either nothing, or fake up, or fake down, or oversold, or overbought. Okay. Then you have the K1 value, which is the gray curve in the MTF. So let us just open the MTF. Okay. Um, let's just select a coin that has no history here. So for example here, if you look at this one, you know from the MTF that you have the gray one, which is the fastest one. This is the K1 curve, and then the blue one is the K2, and the green one is the K3. K3. Okay, so if you look here, you're gonna find this is K1, and then this is the blue one, and it's colored blue, K2, and K3 is the green one. You have 3 possibilities for the highlight color, either red or just gray or green. Gray doesn't mean anything, means just that it's normal. Red means overbought, and green means oversold. So for example, if you read the data at Ethereum, you would see that at the daily, K1 is overbought, K2 is K1 is overbought and at 95, K2 is at 45, and K3 is oversold and at 9.4. So this is green because it's oversold, and this is red because it's overbought. And if you look here, let's just look at Ethereum. What you would see here is the gray one is overbought, and then this is something then you can picture in your mind when you're reading these values. Okay, and you can see it is printing already a fake up because there is a big gap between K1 and K2. You can either see this manually here or by the status, or even by the gap value, which brings us to this column. It's showing the gap value. Okay, so here the gap value is 49, and you can see if you open those up, the value here of gray one is from here. When I select it, it's 95, and then the blue one is 45. So there's a big difference, around 50, which is triggering the condition for a fake up. And then if you look at the color of the gap value, if it's red, it means that K1 is above K2. If it's green, it means that K1 is below K2. Why red and green? It's the same color of as the fake up and fake down. Fake down is always green, fake up is red. Okay. And then you have another column here titled at gap change, and you can see the gap change is 4.39, and then there is a symbol indicating that the gap is getting wider. If these brackets are showing outwards, then the gap is getting wider, and if it's inwards, then the gap is getting smaller. Okay. Don't mind the minuses and the pluses, because it's a bit tricky when it's a fake down or a fake up. So the important thing is the value, the absolute value, and simply if these brackets are pointing outwards or inwards. So for example, at Curve USDT here, you're seeing $16, sorry, in terms of value, and then you're seeing it's getting smaller. The K1 change and the K2 change do not really need explaining. You can see here the K1 at Curve is 79, and then it increased by 16. And the gap is getting smaller. This means that before that we used to have something similar to a fake down, and now the gap's getting smaller. So this is showing you a lot of data that makes you able to picture each and every one of the MTF indicators of each and every one of these coins. So this is extremely useful because It gives you an overview of the whole market if you're wanting to be able to narrowing down your scanning of the market and to check what you're going to be looking for. So let's just take an example now together. Okay. So as I said, this is A, B, and C. Let me just make sure that they're different. Yeah, they're different. So what I would do is simply check the 1 day as we are now, and you can see Ethereum is faking up. And then what I would do, usually I would start by looking at the fake ups and fake downs. I'm usually looking at the fake downs at the beginning. So Wi-Fi with double I is showing a fake down, QNT is showing a fake down, KQSDT is showing a fake down, and UTK is showing a fake down. So let's just have a quick look at those and verify this. Okay. So first is Wi-Fi. It's showing a fake out, but it's a very small one. And as I said, guys, earlier, this is not to be traded according to, but only to narrow down your search. So this search, for example, now resulted in us seeing that this one is a small fake out still. It still needs to be observed, okay? And then the next coin is QNT. Let's just check QNT. QNT is having a fake out, a fake down that is already starting to move according to plan. If this wasn't like that and it wasn't the previous candle, I would probably enter it here with a stop loss below the last low, as we discussed before. Okay, so this would have been a nice catch if it was caught yesterday. I already mentioned this at the group yesterday, but anyway, for this example, let's just talk about the things that are playing out now. And then Cake USDT. As you can see, this is faking out downwards, but it's the K2 is pointing out downwards strongly, so it's not a sure one yet. And either way, you would have to either have your stop loss at this value, which is not really safe, or below the next low, which is 12%. It's a bit big, or even safer, about 18. So it's not a very convenient trade yet. UTK is the next fake down. So let's just, that's a nice fake out. This fake out is nice. It would have been nicer if green was overbought, but still this is a nice fake out. It indicates that you can enter with an 8% stop loss, and the gap is really nicely forming here. So now what the MTF screener did to you is it pointed out a coin that was faking down on the 1 day. So this coin now should be examined further. As you can see, when I did the 3 day, it showed a fake out upwards, which is not so assuring. So you need to simply look at several time frames on this one. The 1 week doesn't show much. It shows a bit that it's not confirmed that it's done yet. 3 days bearish. 2 day. When you see that the 1 day is faking down and the 2 day is like that, probably the 3 day is gonna pull up. Let's just wait and see, but my suspicion is that the 3 day is gonna pull up. The 12 day is not saying much. Sorry, the 12 hour, the 8 hour also not saying much because they're close together. 6 hour is faking upwards, but not really. It's hard to tell because these are pointed upwards. So the conclusion for that coin, oh, the 1 hour was faking down. The conclusion for me after investigating this one, sorry, the 3 hour I meant. Okay, sorry to interrupt. The conclusion for me would have been simply that this coin, it's not much to go on. Not the ideal fake down. So again, guys, the MTF screeners, the role of the MTF screener is simply not to make you trade, but to make you read the whole market instead of having to scan each and every coin. Because if this wasn't available for us, we would have to scan all the 99 coins to find even UTK or cake or Wi-Fi with double I. Okay, but now we see them all, and the values keep updating while you're watching, and you can simply toggle between the different time frames. For example, let's check the 1 hour. If we are looking for scalps, let's just give this a minute. Yeah. So what you can see here, overbought, 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 fake up, overbought. Let's just examine the fake downs. Okay, there was a fake down that just vanished here. Oh, this one's interesting. You're seeing SLP, for example, having a fake down, while the K1 value is at 45, K2 is at 84, and then you have the K3 red. K3 red means that the green curve is overbought, so it should print an ideal fake out, the kind that we want to trade, but never take this only at one time frame. We will have to examine this further. Okay, let's just check here SLP, the 1 hour. So as you can see, this is starting to fake down, but I would never trade SLP or scalp trade SLP. SLP is a very uh, undependable coin, so I wouldn't trade this one. I'm just giving you an example, just figure it on any other coin. Let's just check, for example, the 4 hour, or simply, well, let's go back to 1 hour. I want to say one quick thing. When I see that you have a lot of coins at overbought status, for example, here overbought at AVAX and then 100, 188 on the hourly, okay? And you have the same for Comp, OMG, Uni, Curve, Aave, Link, ZIL. Even Bitcoin has K3 overbought, and then K2 and K1 are not oversold. So what this is already showing you here when looking at the market is that the market had a recent push, and now is not a time to do anything, because you can't enter these coins. You can't even on a quick glance, they're not good for buying and they're not good for shorting. Okay, so what this tells us is most of these coins should not be traded. But when you look, for example, at IOTA here, you will see this has a K1 value at 25. It's a fake down, so it's a very low K1, very high K2, very high K3. This is very interesting on the 1 hour. Let's just check this. Yeah, this one had a run today. It bounced about 20% with volume. Oh, so as you can see, this one had a very nice fake out here that you could have simply entered at this candle. Now, of course, you can't enter this. Never, guys, enter a large green candle. So I would have simply taken the risk and entered this one. Preferably if we had more consolidation, not like that. Let's just check the 45. It had a small fake out. That's very tricky because it's hard to enter those small ones. The ones that would have been easier to enter were this one or that one, because there's a consolidation floor, and even here you could have entered and could have made a decent amount of profit, 20%. So I think you're starting to see the potential here of being able to check the whole market and change the time frames for the whole market. Again, guys, if you want to choose 5 panes instead of 3, you're going to be able to see 165 different coins, but they're going to be smaller. So for example, if we select it, where are the 5, or sorry, 4, I don't know if there are 5 panes or not. There are 3, and here 4. Yeah, 4 is the maximum, I think. If you select 4, then you're gonna have 4 times 33 coins, and then simply select max pain. And as you can see now, the symbols can't be seen, so you'll have to go back to changing it to left bottom. If you select left bottom, you're gonna see the symbol names, but then you're gonna miss out on the K1 and K2 change, which are not that significant. They are there mainly for people who want to scan deeper, but the most important ones are the status and the K1, K2, K3, gap value, and gap change. Now, when this finishes, the table is gonna move, and then you're gonna have to do this for each and every one of the panes. And here you would have to go and select watch list D. So now we have 4 times 33 different coins. Okay, so that's it, guys. I'm gonna try and do more videos about this. I hope this is useful. And as I mentioned, the indicator is still not priced yet. Probably gonna start by giving out trials first, and then I'm going to give you the pricing for it for you to choose whether you want to continue or not. I'm thinking about making 2 different price options, one fixed for lifetime and one on a monthly basis. But as you can guess, this indicator is not gonna be cheap, because it gives you a huge advantage for scanning the whole market. It saves you literally probably an hour or 2 of scanning the whole market. If you're a scalp trader or a short-term trader, it saves you a lot of time. Even if you're an investor and you want to just look at the 2-week time frames, you're gonna have a huge advantage of knowing what to check and what not to check, simply instead of going over each and every coin. So let's just check the 2 weeks quickly, and then we finish this video. Yeah. So if you look at the 2 weeks, for example, let's just revert to 3 panes. 4 panes is not very efficient. Yeah. So as you can see, you have either fake downs or oversold. So for example, Ethereum, which is a bit weird, to be honest. 2 weeks is showing a fake down. Yeah, it's a fake down, not a big one, and it's also a crossover, so it's indicating, this alone is indicating that soon there's gonna be another push up. Again, guys, you need to always confirm any theory of the MTF with your TA accordingly, because never rely on an indicator alone, even the MTF. Okay, and if you look at Doge, for example, is oversold. So it just makes you scan the ones that matter more. So now, yeah, this is oversold. Soon this is gonna bounce. As I explained in earlier videos, oversold doesn't mean for you to long. It just means that a bounce is coming closely. How much it's gonna drop before it bounces is something that's hard to tell, and only normal technical analysis can show you that. Okay, so for example here, looking at the candlesticks, probably this candle is gonna be probably a green candle. Then you should simply evaluate whether a stop loss is gonna be tight or not. Here the stop loss wouldn't be tight below the swing low, so it's not efficient for me to enter this one, and it's been undecided for a couple of times, so it's hard to tell. The 3-day is showing a fake out upwards, not so good. 1 day, a very small fake down. It needs to be counted in terms of Elliott waves better, as we did this count and we believe that there's still one tiny wave downwards before it bounces. I still think so. Anyway, as I said, this just narrows down your search for the coins that matter and makes you neglect the rest. Okay, sometimes you can also check on coins even if their status is not showing anything. If you see values that catch your eye. For example, if you see here Luna is showing 99 and 99 and then NAN. NAN because Luna is not an old coin and a 2-week chart would not show the green curve. So if you go there and search for Luna 2 weeks, you will see it only has the gray and blue and it's at its peak. So this just shows you the coins with the large momentum either upwards or downwards, so it saves you a lot of time of having to screen the market manually. Anyway guys, thank you for watching. I would appreciate any kind of feedback because, as you know, this is still under development. I can simply add or remove something to make it better, and this is going to give better results if the feedback comes from several people instead of me just doing it. So any feedback is appreciated, and thank you for watching guys. Have a great evening. Bye bye.